Hi, this is Wally Kern with Supreme Isopods. I almost said Supreme Geckos there for a second, but this is an Isopod video, and we're going to take a look at isopods. Now, my friend Angie said that I should do more videos live and in ad hoc and not so rehearsed and not a script. So we're going to do that today. And we're going to check out an isopod that I've been waiting for a long time to do. This is going to be a fun one. And I've got a really special surprise right at the end. So join me in watching this video on a very special isopod. Okay, so if I had this rehearsed and everything, I would have an isopod right in front of me. But I don't, so let me go get that isopod. Be right back. Okay, here we go. Opening up, and this is, talk about not rehearsed, this is Cubaris Species Red Edge. Now, a lot of people will call them red skirt, and that's just fine. It doesn't really matter. I think everybody in the hobby knows that red edge can go by red skirt. I even have red skirt on the container, but I know that it's actually red edge. I think I have it on as red edge. Cubaris Species Red Edge on my website. So it's all good as long as you know that there's two different names that go along with this this isopod. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. And it looks like we have tons and tons and tons of springtails in here. And we have tons of isopods. Now, if you notice, there's a little white one running around there, and that's exciting. Now, I've seen that described several different ways. One being the white form, one an albino. I don't think it's an albino. I see another name of this white animal called white angel, and it just disappeared on us again. So I'm going to go with the name White Angel because that's what I've been told in the hobby from a couple of real reliable sources. Now you can see this tub, we have 3 different ventilation holes. I have plenty of sphagnum moss. I have the bridge between the dry area and the sphagnum moss. I keep these guys a little bit moister than other Cubaris species. We have leaves. It looks like I need a bunch more of leaves in there. Plenty of ventilation. The top certainly has, let me grab that top. The top certainly has plenty of ventilation as well for feeding. So my weekly maintenance is pretty easy. I add water to the moist side. I don't spray this container down. I feed with all kinds of stuff. Supreme Isopod chow, of course. I feed with flake food, fish flake food. I feed with, oh my gosh, vegetables, zucchini and carrots. I feed with I also feed dried fish, shrimp, dried crested gecko diet, all kinds of different foods. And this population is really, really going to town. Now, I want to show you a second population. We've been raising these for a while, probably about 2 years, and they've really, really taken off. We've sold a lot of these animals. Let me show you the second container that I have. Okay, here's our second container. Again, lots of ventilation on the top. 3 holes for ventilation on the side. The sphagnum moss, decaying wood. Again, it looks like I need more leaves in here, but plenty of areas for these isopods to hide. Plenty of springtails. Let's see how this group is going. Really, really going to town. This is a good group. Again, this container has been established for about 4 months. It looks like we have tons and tons of little babies running around. Very, very good culture. Lots of babies, lots of babies. That's really cool to see. Now, I told you that I had a surprise at the end, and let's take a look at that. I've been pulling those white isopods out and putting them in another container. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I started this container probably about a year ago or so, and I started collecting some of the white albino, white angel isopods about that time. One here, one there. And I thought that they would grow up and I would put them in a new container. Well, I just haven't gotten around to putting them in a new container. So let's take a look. Again, this is only a 6-quart, folks. It really needs to be at least a 15. It could be a 27. Let's see how they're doing in here. And again, very, very simple setup, but you can see they're going to town. Now, there's some dwarf grays in here running around, but there are some normal looking Cubaris Red Edge in here as well, and I'll have to take those out. But the important point here is that they're breeding, so that is so cool. And here's another little group right here, and you can see a ton of these little white babies. So happy to see these guys. Same setup, sphagnum moss, some decaying wood, some leaves, some calcium, and I feed the same types of foods that I just mentioned before. So these isopods are doing really, really well. I don't think there's anything really special about these that you have to do different with them. Hey, don't forget, we have a playlist on isopods, and you can check that out right here. I'll put the link up here. You can take a look at the playlist and just let it go and see all kinds of different isopods. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a really, really cool isopod. Again, Cubaris species, Red Edge, or you might see it in the trade as Red Skirt. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next video.